Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast, bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. Oh my God, it is 42 degrees today in Sydney. It is like so humid and sticky, and we are truly in Australian summer. Okay, so before I get into the stories, I did want to say a huge thank you guys for how supportive you were of our Brita campaign last week, our Brita sponsorship. So this will be a year-long campaign. I mentioned this yesterday. I mentioned this on Friday, but this will be a year-long campaign. They are the first brand that ever signed a year-long deal with us and a year-long partnership. And this is just a huge milestone for us. So I actually talked about this milestone on my TikTok and on my Instagram Reels as part of this campaign today. The videos just went up, so go check those out. But, honestly, being a startup is constantly worrying about cash flow and feeling like you are just chasing your tail, trying to make everything work and make sure that you don't run out of money or don't have to make giant financial decisions like laying people off or anything like that. And thankfully, knock on wood, we have not had to do anything like that so far. But, that difference between like considering your business as a startup versus being in the growth phase is knowing where your next invoice is coming from and having that steady cash flow. That is like a giant marker of the difference between being like a quote unquote startup and being a business that is a bit more mature. And we've been stuck in that startup phase for several years now. And this Brita campaign really is like the first major step for us of getting out of that and knowing we have a bit more security this year. So it meant a lot that you guys were so supportive of Brita in the comments on YouTube and on Spotify, because honestly, they are helping us keep the lights on in a huge, huge way this year. Okay, let's get into the stories. So the first story that I have for you guys is that Gracie Abrams has reacted to the online petition to replace her opening act. Okay, so Gracie Abrams has clapped back at fans who are petitioning to have her opening act, Dora Jar, removed from her tour. This is so mean. Okay, Dora Jar will be opening for Gracie on the European leg of her tour in February and March. The petition is now deleted, but it was posted on change.org, and this is what it said. Many fans, including myself, are baffled by the recent announcement that Dora Jar will be the opening act for the Secret of Us Tours Europe shows. We are perplexed as we do not recognize her, and with less than 2 weeks till the tour, it's virtually impossible to familiarize ourselves with her slow-paced songs. For a memorable concert experience, an opening act should set the mood and get the crowd excited. But Dora's slow tempo songs may not achieve this goal. It's not just a personal concern. According to Billboard, upbeat opening acts are essential to the overall concert experience as they set the tone for the headlining act and help in keeping the audience's energy up throughout the show. Billboard 2019 in brackets, like citing it. Okay, I don't know how many signatures this petition got, but it obviously got picked up by some news outlets. Fans were tweeting about it, posting about it, and Dora, I'm assuming, was tagged in it. So somebody had linked the petition and tagged her on Twitter, and she wrote, "Don't worry, this doesn't bum me out. I'm here to perform for all the music-loving, open-hearted fans. Those who aren't interested can go buy merch while I'm playing, and they might as well let me entertain them, though. An overwhelming amount of fans have been so kind and excited." That's a really classy response from her. I imagine, despite what she says, it would be very difficult to deal with a petition going around on the internet of people saying that they think that your music is not good enough to open for Gracie Abrams, like I assume one of their favorite artists, if they're so passionate about this. I think a lot of this comes down to the parasocial relationship and like the fan entitlement, which we have talked about so many times. We have talked about fan entitlement in especially the music space. I don't know. I'm not like immersed in music enough, I guess, to have a very strong grasp on this, but I'm going to say It is possible that over the last few years, because of TikTok, because of the rise of TikTok and how TikTok has transformed the music industry, a lot of us are not going to concerts for like big names like Gracie Abrams is at this point, a very well-known artist, at least amongst like Gen Z women and, in her genre. So people are not really going to concerts anymore for an artist of that caliber, and they maybe are not familiar with the opening act. And I think a lot of that comes down to social media and TikTok and the expectation that artists must be constantly going viral on TikTok to solidify their music career. And so going to concerts for a big A-list name, I know a lot of people might not like that I called Gracie Abrams A-list, but you know what I mean? Like a big name like her. Maybe there is this new expectation that you kind of are getting almost like a 2-in-1 concert. I don't know. But when I was in like my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s going to concerts, like I never knew the opening act. That's kind of the point of an opening act is you are helping platform their career, right? You're helping kind of give them this like launch pad for their career. I think it's normal to not know the opening act and maybe like not even really care for them. I don't know. You can also just like go to the concert when the artist that you have paid to see starts. This just gives like a bullying. Okay. So Gracie responded. She commented on, I believe this is on Instagram Reels. She wrote, just hearing about this absolute ridiculousness, so wildly uncool and bizarre, and also just does not remotely add up. I've only seen everyone's total excitement, and I couldn't be luckier or prouder to share a stage with this talented wonder. Stream everything she's ever made, whether or not you're coming to the show. Dora forever and ever. So I think it's great that Gracie spoke up. I think it's necessary, having to reel her fans in a little bit, unfortunately, I think is what needed to happen here. But I don't think we should be able to just make like change.org petitions for anything. I feel like there needs to be like a questionnaire. There needs to be some like qualifiers for you to make a viral petition like this. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is there are rumors, a lot of them, big rumors, that Jason Nash will be replacing Dave Portnoy on the BFFs podcast. In November 2024, Dave announced he would be leaving BFFs prior to the podcast returning for 2025. Josh and Bree, who were the other co-hosts, have posted a couple of episodes without Dave, and I think that those episodes have been well received. I don't think they need a third person, but that hasn't stopped rumors that Jason will be joining. Bree and Josh talked about him on an episode, like kind of teasing maybe that he would be someone that could join the pod. And I think that's where these rumors stemmed from. But now fans are even more convinced after Jason posted a photo of himself over the weekend on Snapchat wearing a shirt that says Team Bree with a collage of BFF's photos tacked to a wall behind him. At first I was like, is this in their studio? Like, why? What's up with this wall? This is really weird. However, then he also posted a TikTok where he revealed that the wall collage is in his kitchen. So either this is like, obviously this is a troll. He obviously does not have like a shrine to BFFs in his kitchen. But either this whole thing is a troll and like he's buying into it. They're all kind of feeding into it because it's getting them a little bit of traction, or it is them actually drip feeding and teasing us that Jason will be on the show. Josh commented on that TikTok saying, it would be an honor. I don't think it would be for Josh and Bree. I think it would be an honor for Jason. I think Jason is trying to maintain relevancy with every ounce of his being and constantly piggybacking on the careers of people who are like significantly younger than him. And I know that's really mean, but like Jason Nash is up there on my list, But yeah, I don't think that BFFs needs him, and I hope they don't go down this route, but it's seeming like they will. Okay, and the last story that I have for you guys is that Victoria Paris has been accused of copying a video from a smaller creator. And when I say accused, I feel like I actually need to reword that and say, like, it is so incredibly obvious that this was copied, but just hang on. So Victoria Paris is being called out for copying a small creator's content, and it is literally almost identical. So the original video was by a creator with the handle your_mom69420, iconic. A month ago, she posted this, and her video was to the song All I Need by Radiohead. The video is just her like blinking into the screen. It's like a selfie of her blinking into her screen, into the camera with the text, "You can always tell when a man's jewelry is performative and not a true representation of his spirit." This creator currently has 1,600 followers. Likely less when she posted this video, right? Because this was a month ago, and that video now is starting to get a lot of traction because of the Victoria Paris of it all. So I'm going to say she probably had, I'm going to say maybe like a less than 1,500 followers at the time. Victoria Paris, who is a creator with nearly 2 million followers, posted a video this weekend, and it's basically the exact same. So Victoria stares at the camera in the same way, blinking at the camera, and she wrote, "You can always tell when a man's jewelry is performative and not representative of his true spirit." So the only real thing that changed is in the original video, it says not a true representation of his spirit, whereas Victoria wrote not representative of his true spirit. Victoria's video, this particular video, has over 8.7 million views and 1.2 million likes at this time. This would be so disheartening if you were the original creator. So people started tagging her who had seen her video, I guess, and her video at this point only has 50,000 views, and I imagine before this Victoria Paris situation, it had way less than that. But yes, her original video has around 50,000 views. If anybody has any questions about this, I wanted to get this out of the way. It is not a trend, okay? This creator did not start a trend. Victoria Paris is not jumping on a trend that she saw. The difference between this, which is like, in my opinion, straight up copying, and a trend, what would make this a trend is if Victoria Paris, instead of saying, "You can always tell when a man's jewelry is performative and blah, 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 not representative of his true spirit," if she wrote something like, "You can always tell when a man's something else is performative and not representative of his true spirit," like a man's social media posts or feed, or I don't know, like his personal style, like whatever you want to say, you could put something else in there and that would make it a trend. And she could use the same trending sound and she could tag the creator. Another way that this could have become a trend is if the original creator was showing the jewelry of her man, right? So she's saying like, "You can always tell when a man's jewelry is performative," whatever. And then she shows her man's jewelry, okay? And then Victoria Paris decided to use the same text, use the same sound, the template, and then showed her partner's jewelry, right? And then everybody would start making their own version of this. That is what a trend is. It's not like a copy and paste. So this is not a trend. She just straight up copied this, I'm going to assume allegedly, from this creator, because I do not know how you could have the exact same thought for the text, the style of video, and the sound. All those three things together, it is almost the exact same. It is so wild. But yeah, a lot of people I don't think have seen the original creator's video. Some bigger creators are reposting it to amplify it and obviously posting about it in Victoria's comment section. Unfortunately, this is a story that we see a lot where big creators just kind of see things from smaller creators and take those ideas and run with it. Even if there's no like legal ramifications for this, it's incredibly unethical, uncreative, and I feel really, really bad for this creator in particular. Victoria Paris's video is like legit viral. Like, I think it would be different. I mean, it wouldn't be that different, but it would be maybe a little bit different if Victoria's video didn't have so many views. But the fact that it has almost 9 million views, she must just be like, what the fuck? That was literally my idea. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to Mini Scroll. I love you guys. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Please star rate us on Spotify. We're trying to get to 1,000 Spotify ratings. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Lauren Meisner. I love you guys, and I will talk to you. Well, I won't talk to you tomorrow. Annabelle will talk to you tomorrow, and I will talk to you on Thursday. Okay, bye.